Curtain Jerks is brought to you by Audible.com. Get your free audiobook download at audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network. Over 100,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android. Whoa! Lightning! Smoke!
Yeah, love to read. Yeah, good times.
Macho Man Randy Savage, what are you doing here?
Yeah, love to read. Talking about reading. Yeah, got a book right here.
Hey, wait a minute. You know, with audible.com /audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network.
There's a lot of slashes in there. I don't know if any of those are accurate.
Really? Let me try that again. You know, at audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network, you can read things with your ears on your iPhone, your Android, your Kindle, or your MP3 player.
What do you mean? I don't have to pick up a book no more?
Yeah, you had the most muscular pinky I'd ever seen when you picked up that book.
That's right. See, the problem is that I have with books is they're my enemy. Yeah, because I always get paper cuts. That's why I always got tape on my fingers.
Macho Man Randy Savage, you don't have to cut your fingers anymore on books. You can listen to these books.
No more paper cuts?
No more paper cuts.
The beauty of Audible is I got no more paper cuts, so I can read even more with my ears.
That sounds like a hell of a slogan. The beauty of Audible is no more paper cuts.
No more paper cuts for the Macho Man. No. So you telling me that I gotta pay for no more paper cuts?
See, that's the beauty part, Macho Man Randy Savage. With this, you get a free audiobook once you use the Curtain Jerks promo code.
Free audiobook? Yeah, dig it.
That's free, and then you're also going to be free of paper cuts.
Free of paper cuts, free downloads, free everything. The show is free. I like it.
You know what, Macho Man Randy Savage? You're welcome.
Let's go to the circus.
Let's do it.
Welcome, everyone, to Curtain Jerks right here on the Comedy Podcast Network. I'm Scott Narver.
And I'm Steve Sears.
And we're comedians who live in Hollywood. That's
California,
where we are.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'm not on vacation anymore.
You're welcome back.
Thanks.
You know, when you paused right before Hollywood, I didn't know where we were. Like, that was, when you say that, I'm always curious if it's going to be Los Angeles, Southern California, the Inland Empire.
It's a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Data point.
We're in the San Gabriel Basin.
Laverne.
Where's Laverne?
I don't know, but I got rejected from them to go to college there.
Really? Mm-hmm. How many places did you apply to go to college?
One.
Laverne?
Uh-huh.
I applied to...
I don't count the community college I applied to and then went to briefly.
Oh, yeah. Applied to, as in...
Yeah. I got $13.
Yeah, you paid your check. I applied...
There's an arcade!
Oh, wow. They had the Bears Lair at Cal. I didn't go to Cal.
What's the Bears Lair?
The Bears Lair was underground, and it was a bowling alley, and it was a sweet arcade. They had the 4-person Spider-Man game, the one with
that game's
Namor and Black
terrible,
Cat.
but you get sucked into playing
Yeah,
it.
because where else would
They
you get
all
to
look
play Hawkeye?
hunched and old.
But
they
also
got their shoulders
super tall. Like, they would zoom in, and
Yeah.
they'd become, like, Street Fighter size, and then they'd also be Avenger size.
Yeah.
Yeah, where else were you going to see Black Cat or a black suit Spider-Man?
No one cares about Black Cat.
Like, really?
Who does?
Felicia Hardy?
Is that her name?
I thought so.
She's always a bummer. It's like, hey, where's Mary Jane or where's anybody else?
But she was super sexy, and that was
she was super sexy. But did you really believe Black Cat was gonna hang well with Spider-Man?
Apparently, she did. This is what I don't believe.
But it was weird.
had
Catwoman
white
could hang
hair.
with Batman.
Yeah, well, that's because she had the skills to pay the bills.
Right, but I never saw or read anything where I'm like, oh, Black Cat, she's got it.
I think also her secret identity would be harder to, like, hey, remember that woman we saw last night with just stark white hair? And she...
oh, yeah, she's like 25 years old?
Yeah, I think she's right behind you buying a churro.
Does she also have superpowers?
I think it was, like, just heightened agility. She didn't have a
See,
whip.
That's
she
the
had,
thing. Like, Catwoman lived in a world with heroes where they're just humans with extra abilities.
Yeah, where Batman could be the tactical leader of Justice League. I feel like, Catwoman could hang.
Black Cat didn't seem to have superpowers, so I was like, why are you hanging out with superheroes? Aren't you
think
going to get wrecked?
I think she had some sort of a harpoon gun, like it was called like the cat claw or something, and it was how she would...
Saucer of milk.
Yeah, just... And then Yeah, there was something else about. Yeah, I think she has a terrible secret identity. Yeah, but who wanted to play as Namor anyway? Yeah, that's the only game with Namor in it.
So that catches everybody up on Raw. There we go.
Yeah. Oh, why did we talk about this? Oh, I applied to 3 colleges.
3 colleges.
Yeah. Eugene Lang New School University in New York.
Okay.
Humboldt University.
Oh.
And Sonoma State University.
Oh.
I only got into Sonoma State University.
Well, la-di-da.
Yeah.
And you graduated?
Oh, God, no.
Oh, okay.
I did 4 years. And that right in the middle of that, I met my good friend Nathaniel, who was like, hey, man, you like wrestling? I was like, yeah, I love wrestling. And then I just remember started watching wrestling for a good chunk of college.
And that's what brings us here today.
What brings us here today, togetherness, is wrestling.
This is a comedy wrestling podcast, Curtain Jerks, where each and every week we talk about whatever's funny to us, whatever's enjoyable and weird and goofy and fun. And
Like our academic prowess.
Yes.
Did you graduate?
Or lacking. No, God, no. You can't really graduate from a community college anyway.
What's a play you did in college that people wouldn't know about? I know about.
That wouldn't know about?
You did sexual perversions in Chicago, right?
No.
Okay, but you did do
In
Dracula.
Chicago?
I thought it was called sexual perversions in Chicago.
Oh, I thought you were saying
You did. You played
the play.
Steppenwolf in Chicago, right, Scott?
Yeah. I was Malkovich's understudy.
What's a play you did in college that people wouldn't know about?
That they wouldn't know about?
Yeah, 'cause
I
I feel
assume everybody wouldn't know about any of the plays they did.
Yeah, you did. You didn't. It wasn't Clockwork Orange. You did One
No.
Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest,
That was a post-college. I
You
did
did
that show twice.
Dracula?
That was in high school.
and then you also did.
I did Brighton Beach Memoirs. I'll make this very quick so we get to talk about wrestling. And we have some big interviews coming up. I was in Brighton Beach Memoirs. I auditioned with a guy from my high school who was who looked like he was 14 or 15 years old, which is what Eugene
ringer.
is supposed to look like. And I look like what I do now,
You
except
look
less
like-
sickly.
you
I was
look-
more well-fed then. So 6'5" and 6'5". Like, that's all that matters.
You look like Lyle Lovett if he fought his way through the Galactic Wastelands.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what the director should have said.
Yeah.
And gone with the other dude that was like 5'5" and looked like he was 15 years old. But I got it.
Yeah.
So which pretty much everybody went, the fuck? Why did he get it? He doesn't look at all like a teenage boy. But I did. I got that show, and I was in Brighton Beach Memoirs with one of my best friends, Marty.
Congratulations. That's now
Thank
this
you,
is, this-
15 years ago.
Yeah, this is how I build momentum for our wrestling podcast, is asking each other about our colleges and then what we did theater-wise.
That's right. And I have since given up on the business and now just do strictly podcasting.
You're very good at it.
Nah. We've got some big interviews coming up today that we're going to play during the show. We got interviews while I was in Toronto with Fight Brand's Ashley Sixx, owner and wrestler. The guy's got 2 hats on his head,
Whoa, he's
but just in bandana form.
wasn't there the president of New Japan for a long time was like their king wrestler guy, and then he owned the company. Do you
Is that
remember?
right?
I remember.
Jack Tunney?
Yeah, Jack Tunney. I think it was
Yeah.
Jack Tunney owns New Japan. Right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
I remember that being like, I remember thinking like, wow, that's really awesome. And then when it sort of like mimicked here in the States with Triple H sort of feeling like he's in charge, but also wrestling on occasion, doesn't feel as cool. There's something about like New Japan, like, yeah, this guy, he owns the company and he wrestles.
And he's Japanese!
Yeah, and he's Japanese.
We also have an interview. Oh, jeez. See, this is why I went, decent podcast.
No, I think it's an interview that acts as an instrument of information for people. An interview.
An interview with Monster Mafia, the up-and-coming tag team on the indie circuit that everybody's hearing murmurs about.
Christian Rosenberg mentioned them on the podcast 3 or 4 episodes ago.
Yeah, commentating that match between the Young Bucks and those guys at the IWL, which I mentioned to them.
What was your verdict on Fight Brand? Did you catch a show while you were there?
I did. I was going to get into that a little bit later.
Oh, right. Okay.
To segue into those interviews.
I just thought I'd pepper the foreshadowing.
I see some sea salt for the
The
section
palates-
of
yes.
interview.
Have you ever had a burrito with tongue in it?
Yeah, and she was really upset. The BFG series, the Bound for Glory series, has come to a conclusion, and there is a winner who is going on to face Bully Ray for the championship at Bound for Glory. Steve, who is that person?
Jeff Hardy,
No.
Bobby Roode.
No.
Rob Van Dam.
No.
Christian?
No.
Abyss.
No.
What's Abyss's brother's name?
No.
Joseph Park. Tony Hale?
No.
No, that's the guy from Arrested Development. Ass kicking James Storm.
That's right. AJ Styles.
All right.
You got it.
Yeah, that's what that's the acronym for AJ, right? Ass kicking
right.
James Storm.
Ass chicken.
Ass chicken. So AJ's going to the main event, huh?
AJ's going to the event. So we plan on going in San Diego. So we're going to see AJ Styles versus Bully Ray.
This is October 17th.
You might be right. I would refer to it as Rocktober.
Yes, Rocktober, Bound for Glory Rocktober.
Followed by Rollvember.
Yes, and then finally ended with Deadcember.
That's right. We'll be dead.
Yeah.
So enjoy it while you can now. So they did their TNA had, and I love these. I really dig these. The pay-per-views on Impact Wrestling. So they did No Surrender. They did the first half this past week. And you got Mr. Anderson versus Bully Ray, which was a war. Those guys went to town on each other.
Mr. Anderson versus Bully Ray?
That's right, Steve.
Wow, is this a shift in Aces and Eights management, or is
That's
it
right. This
a friendly
has been something
contest?
that's been going on for a couple of weeks now.
Really?
Yep.
But
You're behind.
Yeah, but Anderson's such an asshole. Why? He's perfect for Aces and Eights.
Yeah, but
Is he the face? He's the face.
He's not agreeing with what's going on.
That's
So Hogan said one of your guys has to fight for the title before Bound for Glory because Bully Ray was bragging about how he can just skate through with no title defenses.
now is No Surrender. Is No Surrender? Do you think they did like a back-to-back taping?
Yes,
Or like
that's how they do those. Yeah.
So they did the pay-per-view all in one
there's
night.
a second half
But
coming.
they cut it. They cut a 3-hour pay-per-view into two 90-minute impacts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ish. Like it's not the same structure of a pay-per-view, but you're getting a pay-per-view quality show on Impact. And they had
I'm wondering,
these-
should I save my questions for the Ask Scott segment, or should I just ask them willy-nilly like I tend to every podcast?
I guess you can be willy-nilly if you like to be. But
Okay.
You had Bobby Roode versus I didn't write down the order, but the final four were AJ Styles, Magnus, Bobby Roode, and Austin Aries, and a series of great matches on that show. And then the finals being AJ Styles and Magnus, another tremendous match, and it's going to be a fun show. If you're not watching TNA, you missed out on a cool tournament.
Were the final four all not final four? But
Gentlemen,
I guess it would be final six.
I don't consider Bobby Roode a gentleman.
No, certainly not, sir. Was it
A bit of a dickweed.
A bit of, indeed. The dickweed is scraggly this year, and it's choking the grounds. So these guys are doing, in the pay-per-view, they were doing more than one match a night?
Yes.
For the tournament?
Yes.
Very cool. I like that. I like that King of the Ring. I like that King of the Ring style.
Bound for Glory, sir.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Dickweed.
The dickweed. It's straggling the pines. Wasn't the Bound for Glory series already starting before AJ came back?
No.
Really?
Yeah, because he's in it.
Yeah, but I thought it had already started, and then he came back with his loner mode.
Yeah, he's in loner mode when he came back.
Yeah, but I thought that they had already started it, and so that means he
was out of loner mode. Now he's in boner mode because he's number one.
That's right. He's got a serious boner for that championship.
That's right. Wouldn't you? If you were in that tournament, wouldn't you have a serious boner for that championship?
I think that belt is really big, and I think it'd be very uncomfortable with any sort of boners involved.
No, I mean, once you get it, you go like, oh, I got it now.
Oh. No, I think I'd still maintain a boner for the championship.
Where would you have ranked if you had been in this tournament, Steve?
Where was Joseph Park?
Not at the top.
Probably just above Joseph Park.
Would you have ranked higher or lower than Jay Bradley?
You keep saying this name, and I just can't picture a face. It's like a guy I went to high school with, and I don't know him. I don't know him.
So
I don't know Jay Bradley. I don't.
So higher, lower? It's like card sharks. High.
Okay.
Higher.
How about
lower?
This? What's Jay Bradley's finisher move? What's his finisher?
It's like a clothesline from hell.
Ugh, God, I've got just a really weird lower back, and I've really got a hump. Like this thing looks like it's full of just like.
Yeah, but if you got your legs get all tired and jelly, then maybe towards the end of the match
They give out
and
before he clotheslines
and then he misses and then he hits the ropes and then you
schoolboy.
Yeah, you schoolboy him.
Gosh, with such a little wrestling talent in my body, I think I'm gonna have to
but
say
you got boxing ability.
Yeah, but I don't want to be a marvelous Mark Marrow in the Bound
You don't
for
want to
Glory
be, but
series.
it's your skill set.
Yeah. Geez, an Undertaker really makes those punches look good when he does it.
You rabbit punch him once he goes past you.
God, that could kill a man, Scott. That could kill a man, by God.
Yeah, it could. And that's why you
Uh,
get that boner for the title.
God,
With
you know
rabbit
what?
punches.
I think Jay Bradley takes me out on that one.
Oh, wow.
I can't. Well, yeah, he does. But
All
you know what? It was a spirited battle with Joseph Park had I been involved.
Well, it was a very exciting tournament, and it's building up, and I'm very excited to see what happens. On a very funny note, they did a segment on the show where I don't understand this. This makes no sense. The T.J. Perkins sitting there without the mask on as Suicide. So he's not Suicide when he has the mask on. But Hogan's talking to him like, man, when you put that mask on, brother, it's like it's like me hulking up. You know, it reminds me of the days of old.
And TJ Perkins is like, that guy is just a baseline the whole time. Every time I see him, it's just like, yeah, I'm just really glad to be here, and I just want to thank my family. And it's like, then he puts that mask on, and then he puts his hands up in the air. And it's like, hey, he's excited. I can tell with his body, he's excited.
So that happens, and Dixie comes in and says, excuse me for a moment. I need to talk to Hulk alone, please. And then she sits down with Hulk, and she says, well, Bellator's really upset at what's been going on between Tito and Rampage. They're not happy with what's going on, so they pulled him from the rest of the events. Bellator has now pulled Tito and Rampage, so they won't be here anymore. And Hogan goes, well, you know what? It's probably best for Tito because he's causing a lot of trouble, and good for Rampage. So, well, I guess best of luck to them.
Wow.
So after hitting each other in the head with hammers building up to an MMA fight, they go, that's done. So at least they did wrap it up.
I was about to say, I admire the fact that they at least wrapped up the storyline. I mean, imagine anywhere else it would be like, yeah, Tito Ortiz, Rampage Jackson just never showed up on TNA again.
So interesting experiment, fun while it lasted, and now the main event Mafia is normal at least.
I guess so. I mean, everybody's wearing
with
suits.
wrestlers, and they're all active.
Yeah.
You know, no more Rampage. And Rampage was wearing a camo suit there for a little bit. Did you see that?
You told me about it. I remember.
Quite fetching.
I believe Nas wore one of those a long time ago.
Who's Nas?
He's a rapper.
Oh, well, I'm not up on my rap game, so I don't know these things.
Were they even building towards an Ortiz and Rampage like wrestling match?
Not really, like maybe a tag thing that they were going to do, but it was all about the Bellator fight. But when Tito hit Rampage in the head with a hammer.
I'm telling you, man.
Why did that happen?
The
He's
5
an
minutes,
MMA guy. He could punch him.
The 5 minutes I saw of that Bellator special was fucking incredible, Scott. It was really good. It was like 10. Like Scott set the DVR for me to watch wrestling. You also caught like the 10 minutes, like the overdraft kind of, like in case the show goes long.
Yeah.
And I got like
I look out for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You got me 10 minutes of Bellator, and it was thrilling. It was absolutely thrilling.
Why? Because two guys are put in a cage fighting for a fight purse?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Everybody loves purses.
They do. Speaking of which, I don't know if this guy loves purses or not, but on Raw, Night of Champions happened. We didn't watch it. We decided to sit this one out.
Yeah, it's funny because we were so excited about our predictions.
Well, sure we were. But we didn't watch the pay-per-view. You know, things cost money. Sometimes you got to pick and choose, you know. So we sat on this one, assuming Daniel Bryan wouldn't win was part of the reason. Well, it turns out we were wrong. A lot of things happened in the pay-per-view. If you watched, let us know your thoughts on the show. And the following night on Raw, they were in Cleveland, Ohio, and there are a lot of things that happened on the show. But one of the main things that really stuck out on the show were the Miz's parents.
I didn't believe Scott when he said, hey, Google Miz's dad.
Yeah.
And I didn't think I was like, what are you talking about? And then he was like, no, did you see Miz's dad? And I was like, no, I don't. Why would I want to see what Miz's dad looks like? I assumed he looks exactly like the Miz, but just tanner, more leathery, and just really bright white teeth.
That's why they say assumptions make an ass out of you and the Miz.
That's true.
That's why they say that.
That's
why they say that. He doesn't look like what I think anybody would expect the Miz's dad to look like. Nor does his mother.
No, they both look like
Philip Seymour Hoffman and Amy Adams.
Oh, if they combined them together, that would be his dad?
No, just like that's Philip Seymour Hoffman is his father. probably from Happiness, like following that character through the years.
Yeah.
And then Amy Adams in a role yet to be played.
Oh, if she was playing the Gremlin.
30 years from
Gremlins
now.
2.
Yes, exactly. But not the smart talking one.
No, the
Maybe
lady one. Oh, no, the vegetable one.
Oh, the googly eye one.
The vegetable one. You know, I was so struck by when you told me to look at it, like I watched it on the DVR, that I reached out and I contacted Mrs. Dad and I flew in him from Cleveland actually this morning.
You wait, out of petty cash?
Yeah, out of petty cash.
Jesus Christ!
No,
Man, we gotta do some advertising.
I went halvesies.
Halvesies?
Petty cash, and then I also went into my own private stock.
Oh, I thought you went Dutch with Mrs. Dad.
Oh, like
That would have made sense.
We went out to dinner. We did eat, but I'll talk about that later. He's actually
So
in the green
Mrs.
room.
Dad is here.
Yeah, that guy out there who was on the computer, he wasn't fixing it. He was just using it.
Oh,
That's Mrs. Dad.
I didn't see him from in front. I didn't. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we should get him in here. We should talk to him.
I'll bring him in.
Okay. Well, hey, everybody, for the first time on the podcast, as seen on Raw, Mrs. Dad.
Over here?
No.
Over here?
Sir.
Over here?
Sir, no, closer to the microphones.
Over here?
There's a mic. Do you see the microphone? What your son talks into?
Over here?
Sit down. Sit down in the chair.
Over here?
Yes.
Right here?
Yes.
Thanks for having me on your podcast, guys.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, Mrs. Dad. Raw was in Cleveland, Ohio,
I know. That's our hometown.
and you had front row seats to see your son in action.
Yeah, it's really kind of boring.
What?
They're super boring.
It was boring?
Yeah, just having kind of a. I thought it was going to be the main event, and Daniel Bryan was there, but it's just my son fighting Randy Orton.
Well, Randy Orton's the WWE champion.
Oh.
Had he gotten a win over him, maybe he'd fought for the title at the next pay-per-view.
Well, maybe I don't know.
I mean, granted, there is no champion at the moment. The title's been withheld, but he's fighting Randy Orton, and you found this boring?
I was pretty. Look, I'm not a guy who's easily impressed. I just like, oh my god,
What?
are those? Is that a bowl full of M&Ms?
Yeah, it's for it's for us and for guests that come on the show.
Just for snacking? You've got a full bowl of M&Ms just on the table for snacking?
Yeah, I mean, some people put fruit or something like that in it. It's just a bowl of.
Is it your birthday?
No, I assure you, if it's my birthday, no one would know it.
Oh, is it that other guy's birthday?
No, it's not Steve's birthday either. No.
Is it Mark Warzeka's birthday?
No, why do you know about Mark Warzeka?
Just you have that little jersey on the wall. I thought it maybe.
Oh, that's Mark's retired jersey. Yeah.
So you just have a bowl full of M&Ms.
Is this impressing you?
On the table?
Is this exciting you and impressing you, Mrs. Dad?
These are day-to-day M&Ms?
Well, we finish them by the end of each day, and we refill it.
Oh my God! You have M&Ms every day.
Why does this impress you rather than your son on Raw fighting the former WWE champion in a major match?
That's the Miz, and that's Randy Orton trying to. Come on,
Did you just make a jack off?
That's the Miz. All right. And Randy Orton trying to reclaim his ruthless aggression from a couple years ago? Please. He's never going to be as good as when he had hair.
You keep making jack off motions as you talk about
That's
this.
because for me, I imagine M&Ms are going to come out. I can't believe you got a bowl full of M&Ms.
Well, you can have some M&Ms.
Oh, my God. You want me to have some of those M&Ms?
I don't understand.
You want me to put some of those just one. I'm just going to have one M&M.
You can have more than one.
Just one M&M.
Look, okay, to be fair, I don't talk very highly of The Miz. I'm not a big fan of your son.
Well, I can't believe I made him. I was unaware.
Now, I have so many avenues to which I could address that.
Hey, man, feel free to get lost. It's Cleveland, brother. We've got a crazy road system, all right? It's almost as busy as Boston over there.
Okay, well...
I can't believe you got a bowl full of M&Ms. I am impressed.
Mrs. Dad, you and The Miz don't seem to have the same genetic pattern. Jeans. Yeah.
Yeah, that's because I wear jeans, and he wears tiny little trunks. I don't even know why they call them trunks. They look like laminated Speedos.
Are you indeed Mrs. Father?
As far as my knowledge takes me.
Oh, okay. How far does your knowledge take you?
Well, sometimes I just jump on board and ride it like a horse, and then I wake up places I don't know. I can't believe you got a bowl full of M&Ms.
Look, we'll give you this whole bowl of M&Ms.
Oh, an entire bowl full of M&Ms?
Sure.
Oh, man.
I'm almost as excited as Jay O'Brien when he won the title at Night of Champions.
I'm a little pissed that we bought a plane ticket for you when we clearly could have just given you a bowl full of
I don't know.
M&Ms.
You didn't even have to pay for it. I paid for the HD version of Night of Champions. That's like $55.
Look,
I could have downloaded it for free.
well, just flat out. Here's the question: why are you not excited about your son?
This is a great M&M.
Why do you not care? Ms. M&M's. It's M.
It's like the little M on this M&M. You know what it reminds me of?
What?
M&M's.
Look,
It's funny that they don't have two M&Ms on each M&M. It's just one M.
okay, look,
So
we
you
flew
gotta
you
always
out
have
here.
two. I'm gonna have another one.
I have to have an answer to this question. We flew you out here at great expense. Why do you not care about your own son when you were live at the show? Why did you not care? He got beaten to a pulp. Do you care? Do you care about your own son?
Look, full disclosure.
Yeah.
I think the Miz really needs to work on his in-ring work.
Oh, jeez.
I'm not qualified to say anything.
You're his
I'm
father.
not qualified. I'm not qualified to say
You're
anything.
his father, and you're making a jerk off motion.
I just want to. I really think he's got to apply himself. I don't care how good he is on the mic.
Hey, Mrs. Dad, thanks for telling your son via the podcast, which I'm sure he listens to.
Thank you for the M&Ms.
You're welcome. Mrs. Dad, everybody. Mrs. Dad was here at great expense to ourselves. Seems unnecessary.
I really feel out of pocket for that one.
Yeah, as do I, as part of my petty cash.
What happened to the M&Ms? They're all melted now.
Mrs. Dad just kept resting his warm hand on them.
It looks like the handprint from fucking Total Recall.
They
It
say
looks
it-
like for the reactor.
They say it melts in your mouth, not in your hand. That's not true. Mrs. Dad's hand is so warm they melted the candy shell and partially my mouth.
I wish you'd asked him about his warm hands.
I didn't shake his hand. He doesn't know about the locker room, all right? He doesn't know when you come in,
here,
you
you gotta
everybody's hand.
shake hands with all the guys. Yeah,
Show respect.
show a little bit of respect.
Well, speaking of showing respect, we're going to get to one of our interviews now. I went and saw Toronto's Fight Brand Wrestling, and
Oh yeah, what's your verdict? We didn't even get a chance to talk about that show.
well, that's what we're going to do now. Is going to talk a little bit about the show. They had music, they had comedy, they had wrestling.
Well, so based on what you just said, describe to me the venue. Is it like do they have live music playing in the ring? Do they have it on a stage nearby?
Well, they had it on this sort of entranceway where there's a little, like, if you were to picture a.
What was the venue? Is it like a veterans hall, an auditorium?
It's the Transact, so it's like a small theater.
Okay, so did they take out seats?
Well, I imagine in that venue that they always just put seats down, like they put down metal folding chairs for whatever they do.
So it's like it's a hall with a stage.
Well, what do you mean by hall?
Okay, so remember when we saw NWA Championship Wrestling from Hollywood? That
I
was
never went with you guys.
that venue was a movie theater, and they took out like the first
Then yes.
15 rows of seats so they could put a ring in the center.
Then yes,
Okay.
it's like that. But instead of like a performance theater, like a stage theater.
So then they do, let me guess, live music on the stage where they'd have amps set up.
Yes.
And then they would do wrestling in the ring. And then they do
Yes.
stand-up comedy on stage again? Or would that be in the ring?
Stand-up comedy is the one thing I will say that didn't play.
I have a feeling.
The guy came in the ring. I don't, I jotted down what I thought was his name, but then I was told that was not his name. So I won't address his name. He didn't seem to tell any jokes, but the people that were hilarious were the people in the crowd razzing the guy.
Yeah.
But I thought we were supposed to razz him and get on his case because I thought we were supposed to hate him. Turns out we're supposed to like the guy. That was confusing. I don't think that played well. I think there are other people that could do really well at doing comedy there, but that guy just didn't. It just didn't hit. Like it didn't work.
To me, it seems like you got to hit the right notes if you're especially doing anything comedy related with a wrestling sort of audience.
Yes, but there was a lot of cool stuff. There was a band called Lost Cause that played metal, which I thought was pretty cool. And there was a local celebrity in Toronto, Chaclair, who does like hip hop stuff, and he was really entertaining. Like the crowd was fully into him. I thought they're gonna boo him,
Really?
just because anybody plays more than one or two songs. It's like, and then a wrestler came in, and Mason Carter did stuff with them. or Carter Mason. I wrote these down so fast. And they did a song, and then Chauclair got involved in a match and was doing chops and stuff to a guy, and the crowd was chanting for him the whole time. But there are a couple of really standout performers that were really enjoyable and really fun. I really dug Gorilla Army. Those guys were really cool.
So these are people to keep an eye out for.
Yeah. If you hear about these guys, Johnny Wave I liked, RJ City, who I'd hoped to get an interview with, but it just didn't turn out timing wise. But he was really entertaining. Let me see. Obviously, Monster Mafia, they were really good. Big Bear Benjamin Boone.
Oh, don't say any more. That sounds awesome.
I like that guy. Skanky Ring Girl, who was later given a name by the announcer when she was challenged to a match by another lady. I think her name was Lana.
So she hit somebody over the head with the...
her name was Jasmine, but for a while she was... the other women wrestler called her a Skanky Ring Girl. And then that's what the crowd was chanting.
Was the foreign object
for Skanky Ring Girl.
Was the foreign object the big number sign?
No, it was torn up though.
Okay.
It was, and she just sat in the crowd sad. But then she won her match. She was very impressive. It was very fun. And then let me see here. Bearded Dragon Scotty Turner. He was great, and Brent Banks, who is the new champion there now as well. So,
you've heard those names, so now keep your ears open, listeners.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes open.
So it was a really fun show, and I got a chance to talk to Ashley Sixx, who is one of the wrestlers there, and also the owner, but he wasn't competing that night. He's currently injured, and we talked about his show. So take a listen to this now. Fight Brand's own Ashley Sixx. All right, Scott here in Toronto, Canada, not in Los Angeles this week. I am here with the owner and one of the premier wrestlers with Fight Brand, Ashley Sixx.
Hello from Toronto.
Thank you so much for joining me.
No problem.
Thanks for having me at the show.
No problem. How'd you like it?
It was a blast.
It was a blast. It was. People in LA, you should come to our show in Toronto. And if you're not from LA, come to our show anyways.
Yeah, I highly suggest it for all Canadians that are in the area. Go check it out. And even if you're in, Montreal, that's a bit of a drive?
It's like 8 hours, but
no big deal.
You know, if
the
you can't check it
do
out,
it.
if you can't check it out live, we have our web series that we're taping, The Beatdown, which you can see online at our YouTube account, youtube.com/fightbrand. First plug of the night.
And subscribe.
And
That's
like
easy.
and share and tweet and Vine and what else are we doing nowadays?
Instagram.
And Instagram.
You guys
and
Instagram
tag
up?
us and just all that.
So how did you get into this? How did this become your promotion?
So I've been wrestling for about 10 years all over North America, Mexico. And I live in downtown Toronto. I'm a downtown Toronto kid. And there's never been wrestling in downtown Toronto.
Really?
For the most part, no. And if there has been, it's been really crappy. So basically, the reason why there hasn't been, as far as I'm concerned, is because no one understands the downtown Toronto crowd. Being a downtown Toronto kid, I understand the crowd. They have short attention spans. They're not the normal pro wrestling crowd. I'm doing the things with my fingers right now.
Air quotes.
I'm air quoting. They're not the normal pro wrestling fans.
Not these downtown Torontians.
Exactly. So my vision was to make it more of a vaudeville type show. So bring pro wrestling, live music, stand-up comedy, burlesque, magicians. I have all that stuff going on at these shows. And I find that it breaks up the typical wrestling show a little bit better so that if you're not a wrestling fan, you'll enjoy the show. If you are a wrestling fan, you get a little something extra.
Okay. Yeah, because this was Fight 8 is what I saw tonight.
Fight 8. Yeah, this was the official Fight 8. We've had another 3 or 4 other events as well. We do special events throughout the year, but these are our home-based shows.
And you had a zombie event that was being talked about.
Yeah, last year during the Toronto Zombie Walk, we were part of it with the first ever zombie wrestling.
Okay.
Funny enough, Devin Sawa from Final Destination, Idle Hands, he showed up. He tweeted about it, which is
Really?
pretty cool.
All right.
And then this year we're working with Toronto After Dark Film Festival. Evil Dead the Musical, and Night of the Living Dead Live.
Okay.
Which is kind of funny, Night of the Living Dead Live. So basically, it's a full production zombie wrestling event. It's not like a comedy wrestling show. It's like you're going to a play that has pro wrestling. It's complete insanity. It's probably the most successful shows that I do.
Really?
Toronto, I'm telling you, this is what I'm saying.
This is wild. See, now I'm upset that I'm going back to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
The home of boring old SummerSlam.
Right.
When I'm going to be missing out on zombie wrestling.
It's actually the coolest show I've ever done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where did this come from? Where did you get this idea for it?
I thought it'd be funny. And I was like, hey, how about we have zombies kill each other in a ring? And people were like, yeah, let's do it. So it was a test, and I had to take away chairs and make it standing room only in here.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it was fire hazard.
Wow.
I mean,
Was that pre-sales?
Not a fire hazard. There was a crap load of pre-sales.
Potential fire hazard.
Yeah, there was a lot of pre-sales. Most of it
More air
was...
quotes are happening, by the way.
Yeah, most of it was walk-up just from all the advertising in the downtown core that we did. Right. Because the zombie walk, I'm not sure if you guys have one in LA.
I've heard of them.
So basically, everyone who thinks it's fun will dress up as zombies, and there's thousands and thousands of them who do it in Toronto, and that's during the day, and they gather in a park and then roam the streets. So that's during the day. We're at like the beginning of the evening for a couple hours, and then they have like nightclub events after. So we're right in the middle. So it's a
You're in
perfect
that
time.
sweet spot.
Yeah, we got that sweet spot.
That everybody's been walking around enough. It's like, all right, you want to come in,
Exactly.
get a drink.
And that's what they do. They come
See
in,
a
they
show.
get drunk, and then they go to whatever after event.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
And you guys are selling tickets for that now.
Yeah,
because that event is when?
That event is Saturday, October 26th.
October 26th.
And so we're doing some early bird specials right now. 2 tickets for $25 on fightbrand.ca.
There you go. There's
Plug number 2.
Yes, plug number 2.
Yeah.
And what we saw tonight, fight number 8.
Yep.
You had let me see, because I'm trying to get everybody's names down that I could.
Yeah.
So we had Monster Mafia.
Monster Mafia was here.
There's a new champion crowned.
There is Brent Banks, who's he's been one of the top most beloved wrestlers on the Ontario scene for quite a while now, and lately he's had a different change of attitude, and apparently it's worked for him because
Yeah, you're gonna say he's beloved. I didn't
not
beloved
anymore
him at all. I was booing him all night.
He last show he decided to join the guerrilla army with his mentor Kingdom.
Okay.
And then tonight Alex Vega turned on the crowd as well, another most beloved fan.
Yeah.
So the guerrilla army has apparently grown. Tonight they took the Bloor Court Cup, which is this area, Bloor Court, and the fight championship. So they're kind of the top dogs tonight.
Yeah, he beat Scotty Turner for the fight championship.
Scotty Turner is one of the most popular guys here, so that was a big step.
He was.
And they moved forward. The Guerrilla Army moved forward in the tag team title tournament.
You got your finger on the pulse of this.
I got my finger on the pulse of it.
It's like you're invested in some way.
Yeah, it's like I have something to do with it. It's strange.
You put on a very fun show. As you said before, it is a much like a variety, not necessarily vaudeville, but a variety show.
Yes.
A friend of mine that we'll be talking to later in another episode that she hadn't been to an event before, and it was wild. Like, we got to see wrestling, which I came for, and then there was comedy that, she's more used to. And then on top of that, there's bands. We had
Lost Cause,
a metal band.
and then we had Canadian hip hop legend Chuck Clare.
I instantly adored Chuck Clare.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a treat, and he got into it.
And the cool thing about Chuck Clare is he performed with one of our wrestlers who is an up-and-coming hip-hop artist named Carter Mason.
Yes.
So that was a really cool moment for Carter Mason. And then again, he
was chopping Boone.
Yeah, and then he chopped Benjamin Boone. And then Chuck Clare was so into it, he performed a metal song with Lost Cause after the show.
I mean, if you can't tell, this show was a blast. Like, it was so much fun. If you're going like, what happened? Well, you obviously have to go to YouTube.
You have to go to YouTube, youtube.com/fightbrand. The show is called The Beatdown. It's going to be every 2 weeks.
Is there any plans in the future for touring the show outside of Toronto, or you're keeping it for downtown Toronto because that's where...
Fight is downtown Toronto. I'll do other events outside the city, which we do for fun, but Fight is a downtown Toronto thing. And if I can make any reference, you're from LA, you know Lucha Vavoom?
I do.
We're kind of the same vibe as Lucha Vavoom, minus not so much Lucha, even though we have our Lucha events, but it's the same kind of vibe. So if people out there like Lucha Vavoom, you'll love this.
Okay, yeah, and for yourself, you are a wrestler as well, but you're sidelined right now.
I'm sidelined. We won't talk about me being sidelined right now, but I am.
But you're working your way back.
I'm working my way back. Hopefully by a few months into the new year, I'll be back.
Do you come to the States at all to wrestle?
Yeah, my last match was for Ring of Honor in Baltimore.
Oh, all right.
Unfortunately. Yeah. Good way to go out. I didn't get hurt there.
Okay.
But that was my last match I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so where can people follow you for your wrestling career to follow your matches and stuff like that?
Ready for another plug? So you can go to ashleysixx.com. Ashley, spell like the girl's name. Shut up. And Sixx, SIXX.com.
Yeah, one guy started to say Ashley and make fun of a girl's name, and he got put in his place.
Yeah, kicked him in the nuts.
Yeah.
I did. With
And
my
then
foot.
turned him into a girl.
I turned him into a female.
I don't know much about science, but I believe that's exactly what happened.
Bye-bye. Thank you. We're just saying bye to the lovely music lady.
Yeah. And then Fight Brand. Again, for the listeners, where can they check this out?
Bam. Website, fightbrand.ca. Twitter, @fightbrand. YouTube, /fightbrand. Facebook, /fightbrand.
Like it,
Pretty
follow
simple.
it, subscribe to it.
Yeah, all that shit. It's stuff. Can I swear on this?
Oh, yeah.
All that
absolutely.
shit.
All that shit.
Shit.
If you're in Toronto, you gotta go. And if you're not in Toronto, it's available for you.
For free on
free.
YouTube. For free. And you can buy our t-shirts, which are really, really nice.
They are nice. They're
Okay.
primo.
Bye, LA.
Ashley Sixx, thank you so much for being part of the podcast.
Anytime.
So there you go, Ashley Sixx, talking with him. I had fun at the show. It was a really good time, and I got to take my friend Haley, who you can hear on the bonus pod that we just released, the Toronto Comedian Raw.
I'm jealous. You got to go to 2 wrestling events in 1 week, and you got to go to them in Canada, which is sort of like, it always seems like the promised land when it comes to wrestling.
It is like a fun mecca of wrestling.
Yeah.
And the crowds are so much fun in Canada. Whatever hometown you're in, like wherever you go, they're, it can ebb and flow. Every time I've been in Canada, they are so much fun. I don't have to chant and yell stuff. They got it covered, and they're funny.
Yeah,
they
I
are
bet.
fun. So
we went to an Impact pay-per-view. Do you remember that? It was in,
yeah, like Irvine.
it was like in Irvine or something.
Yeah, it was Bound for Glory. It was like outside Irvine.
Yeah, I remember we got tickets the day of there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember
Because what Mark had weren't valid.
Yeah, we had like pieces of paper, but I bring that up because to me that was, I feel like, the closest I'd ever be to going to a show in Canada, because one, everybody
super
was
drunk guy.
No, everybody was just super excited to be there, and I remember like that was the first time I'd ever.
I think everybody thought they could get a job booking there.
Yeah, that was probably it. It's like, I got some great ideas.
Let Steiner win. Hire me.
Yeah. I think, but it was like so often, like you sit next to people that are complaining, and Impact fans were like just rabid. They loved everything they were seeing.
Yeah.
And it was the most, like, it might have been because it was Los Angeles, but it was probably the most diverse I'd ever seen. Like women, men, all races, all ethnicities. I was really surprised at that Impact show.
And that's always the fun. Like going to the show, everybody went there because they wanted to go there. It's not the case of like, well, I'll just go. No, you want to go see a fun show. So they took that, oh boy, it's been a while now. I think it was Sunday afternoon, and you go. You want to go see a cool show.
Yeah, I feel like an indie show to me strikes me as like, one, you've got diehard fans, and you got people that want to be there, that are supporters. Almost the same as like, what is it for soccer, for football? It's like there's clubs and then
Nutbags.
and then there's supporters. Do you know what I mean?
Hooligans? Soccer hooligans?
I'm gonna be going out on a limb here, but I think yes. Like the terminology is you have a club which is the team, and then you have supporters, which are the fans.
Yeah, they're fans. Fanatics.
Fanatics.
So it was a really good time, and as we talk about in there, if you're in Toronto, go check it out, because that brings us to our plug of the week. It is Fight Brand. Go to Twitter, follow them at Fight Brand, like them on Facebook, facebook.com/FightBrand, their website, www.fightbrand.ca, and if you're in Toronto, go see Zombie Wrestling 2 on Saturday, October 26th, 2013, in case you're listening in the future. And it's at the Transac, and it's a good time.
I just remembered my dad is flying to Calgary today.
Really?
Yeah, I just remembered that. And I was really tempted to be like, go to the dungeon! Go to the dungeon, Dad!
I don't think it's there anymore. I think they sold the house.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't the dungeon really wherever they put it?
I guess that's true.
Yeah,
the dungeon's in your heart.
The dungeon's wherever somebody's really making your body do something that your body shouldn't do.
Speaking of something your body shouldn't do, it's time for Jerk Tweets. Each week go to twitter.com/curtainjerks and send us your hashtag Jerk Tweets.
Or at Curtain Jerks. That's right.
Yeah, that works as well. So send us your questions, your comments, whatever you want, and we get so many, we just might address it on the show. So the first one we got here, Steve Des TV says, who is Paul Heyman kissing next? Hashtag Brokeback Mountain. Hashtag fuck you, Steve Sears. Steve Des is coming after you.
Yeah, no, Steve Des is coming. That guy has got such a successful career.
The follow-up to this segment that you paused on the DVR is Heyman is so grateful and thankful to Ryback for saving him at the pay-per-view, because otherwise he'd be a vegetable in the hospital.
Yeah.
That he gave him a kiss on the cheek.
What?
Gave him a kiss on the cheek.
How did Ryback respond?
Smiled.
Aw.
Like a big old Cosby smile.
Yeah, just a...
Like, oh.
That's sweet. You know what's funny? You say Cosby, like, in a way, I think Ryback sort of looks like a cartoon version of Bill Cosby. Like, if you look
Fat Albert?
No. Like, you know, if the Mad Magazine guy, not Argonaut.
Alfred E. Newman?
But if, no, who's the guy who would draw the celebrities? Like, for the...
Oh, I don't know.
So, like, say they did...
It's not Sergio Aragones.
No, he does Gru and
Yeah,
Mad
okay.
Look At. And it's not the other guy, Jaffe.
I don't know.
Oh, Don Martin? No, Don Martin's the guys look all exactly the same. So if they did like a...
Guy's got an art style, sticks to it. What an asshole.
Yeah, like this guy's got talent.
Piece of shit.
Yeah, if they were to do like a Mad Magazine like satire of Leonard Part 6 or something, the way they draw Bill Cosby is sort of what I think Ryback looks like.
I see.
You-
What
can you
an
see-
interesting observation that I don't think anyone's ever thought of or...
I will again.
Yeah.
Yeah, until someone listens
But
to
they'll
this.
go, they'll be in a conversation with somebody and go, yeah, you know what I think's interesting? Ryback kind of looks like Bill Cosby if he were drawn by a mad artist. Did you ever notice that?
To be completely honest, I regret saying that. And I think I totally earned that fuck you, Steve Sears, from Steve Des. Thank you, Steve Des. You preempted me on it.
So who's Paul Heyman going to kiss next?
I'm sure he's he's got to kiss Curtis Axel so Curtis doesn't fight Ryback. Mm-hmm. It's just just for your boys, you know? It's for your two sons.
I'm going JBL.
Ooh.
JBL's very complimentary to him on commentary, and I think at some point JBL's going to get a little kiss on the cheek.
I think there's something to be said about Heyman staying in that wheelchair. I told you when I first saw it, he looks like an evil Professor X.
He does.
But they should put him in the booth in the broadcast booth.
They should just wheel him on over there. Give him a
Yeah.
headset. Give him a little kiss to JBL.
There's a little kiss.
GT 2010 says the Undertaker must wrestle either Papa Shango or the Boogeyman at Mania. Who do you have him wrestle?
Boogeyman.
Discuss. Yeah,
Boogeyman.
yeah. No, hands down,
Yeah,
no
Boogeyman.
brainer. Papa Shango. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, Boogeyman.
Voodoo?
Yeah, Boogeyman is scary. That's your fucking nightmares, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He eats worms.
Yeah, I'd love to see Boogeyman come down to the ring dressed as my manager at a movie theater because that's my fucking nightmare is going to sleep and then having to go straight to work when I was in high school.
Now, this is something that probably doesn't make any sense to the listener.
Because I worked in a movie theater when I was in high school.
No, I was going to explain what I was going to say.
Oh.
Papa Shango doesn't do anything for me. I think it's silly, I think it's dumb, and I don't like it. The Boogeyman hits on all levels. I love every single thing,
He smashes
every
the
addition
clock,
they've
he
ever
eats
made.
worms.
Yeah, the clock, the glass that sticks to his head and chest then afterwards. The what I referred to as the itty-bitty Boogie Buddy, which they didn't call it, they just called him Little Boogeyman.
Itty bitty boogie buddy.
I wanted them to call that. I thought it would have been great. The more additions of fur and
The
like that
smoke.
weird heart.
He looks like Craven the Hunter. He looks like a Spider-Man villain.
The missing teeth, like everything about Boogeyman. I totally bought it, and I was way into. Papa Shango seemed like a guy that was like, I gotta do this. All right.
He looked like a fat guy who ran through like a face painting thing at the carnival.
Yeah, and he wasn't happy about it. He was happy when he was Godfather. That's Charles Wright. Like, that wasn't it. But Boogeyman, he loved it. Like, he was into it.
I think if they did like you remember GoldenEye for N64?
Yes.
Remember Baron Samedi?
No.
He's the voodoo guy who wears like a gray wedding groom's
From,
tuxedo. Live and Let Die?
Yes.
I think Live and Let Die.
Yeah. You're right.
I think that what they need is a really strong buff guy who they can paint like the skull face on and sort of, if they wanted to do like a voodoo thing now, that would be rad. But Papa Shango was always sort of, to me, kind of...
That's the whitest way.
He was, I don't know.
Papa Shango.
Papa Shango. I don't know. He doesn't do it for me.
So Boogeyman, hands down. If you have reason to believe otherwise, then go get a job at WWE. Oh, jeez, what was that? How many W's was that?
Put your hands above your head. Put your hands above. Do you smell toast?
Yes, and it smells delicious.
That's a full sentence. Okay. Smile. You're just making a farting face.
I did a miss-smile.
You're making a farting face.
I've got Vince McMahon disease where I can't say his own company now.
I'm totally...
The WWE.
WWE. I'm totally stoked on a Baron Samedi wrestling character now.
Well, let's make it happen. And then wrestling memes. Wrestling memes had a little fun at my expense this week, and I did enjoy the hell out of it. They said, yes, R.D. Evans on SmackDown. Well, that, or it's Curtain Jerk Scott Narver. And then he made a meme of me from what they refer to as Robert Evans on SmackDown, a skinny wrestler that Ryback was in the back with, who he interviewed and then slapped in the face. This was from the there is a Canada SmackDown. Mm-hmm. So if you want to see that meme, either follow Wrestling Memes or like us on Facebook, because it'll be there on the page, or on our Twitter. And you can see me when I had a mustache that was my Christmas stash.
That's your Christmas Hitler stash, right?
Yeah, it was my Christmas stash for a day.
When you did J. Jonah Jameson, you kept it like military style. Like
Parker!
It stops right at the edges of your lips.
That's right. Or it's a chaplain, if you're not so comfortable with the terminology.
I believe the official term is the push broom.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's the push broom.
Oh, all right. I did not know that. You learn something every day, everybody. So let's get to the other interview with Monster Mafia. I'm going to tell you, these guys are big.
How big?
These are very big people.
Yeah?
They're big gentlemen.
How did you feel doing this interview with them?
Uncomfortable.
Yeah?
I am not a big gentleman.
Well, you're like 6'7".
I'm 6'5".
6'7" with your hair.
I am 6'7" with my hair. I am also 6'7" if you put my ears directly on my head. I have no mass. They're very kind. I'm very pleased that they were very kind, because I thought if this were the 80s, it'd be like the Dr. D. David Schultz thing where he slaps that. Oh God, what's that guy? Do you remember that? The guy with the mustache, the interviewer who's super big in the 80s, doing not Geraldo, but the other guy.
You're not talking about Munch from SVU getting the chokeslam, right?
No, not Belzer.
The choke out. Belzer, yeah.
I will know what it is when we come back from the interview, but it was great talking to these guys. I really hope they can come out and chat with us again. And they put on a hell of a match. I'm really excited to see more of these guys. So you can hear probably the quivers in my voice, like, oh, please don't think it'll be funny to kick my ass.
So for a visual aid for our listeners, if you just imagine 2 T-bone steaks, like sat upright with a breadstick in between them.
Exactly.
There you go. That's imagine that while you listen to this.
So yeah, here are the Monster Mafia. Scott here. I'm from Curtain Jerks, and I'm not in Los Angeles this week. I am in Toronto, Canada.
It's very far. Where are you guys?
It's a different country.
I'm here today with Monster Mafia.
Yep.
It's a pleasure, guys. Thanks for being on the show.
No problem.
Where are you guys from originally?
Toronto.
You guys are from Toronto?
I'm from Hamilton.
Well, I'm from northern Ontario, like Muskoka. It's a cottage area.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and I'm Hamilton,
Kind of
so
a
it's like
hillbilly, but-
an hour from Toronto.
Okay. But so you grew up in Canada raised, and wrestling in Canada. Is that where you guys started out training?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
All the wrestling training basically is in around Toronto and Windsor, which is on the border of Detroit,
Okay.
in Ontario. So basically, you don't really have an option. You have to travel to either of those two places if you want to get started.
So where'd you guys start out? Where did you guys meet at the same school? Did you meet at a later time?
We met at the same school, and I was kind of like a dickhead, and I thought I was like too good for like my own good.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh was really fresh, but the school was really crappy. Can we swear?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, it was shit.
This is
Yeah.
internet radio. Anything
Yeah.
goes. Like this, we have a good time. So
It was shit. But I got too big for my britches and started traveling, and then Josh ended up getting properly trained by Johnny Devine,
Oh, okay.
and then
yeah.
we kind of met up again in our travels, and it all worked out.
All right.
We hated each other at the beginning.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. there was
What
like 3
started
years.
it? What started off the hatred? Was it some
I was-
misconduct?
No,
No
it's-
handshake?
No.
No.
Josh was just being taught wrestling a certain way, and I have my whole life taken things my own way. So
Okay.
I was just like, don't tell me what to do, or I don't care what your trainer's telling you or what you think.
Right.
But like he was being told things properly, and all he was trying to do was just like help me out.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be like, I'm fine.
That's the same way with this recording. You've not wanted to do it. You said no. You said no, and he's like, "Come on, this might help. Who knows who this guy is?"
Yeah, exactly. It could be from LA. Might
Yeah,
get some-
right?
You know? No. Yeah, that's basically how it went down. Like my trainer we just clashed at the beginning.
Right.
And then it all came together when I guess we both matured enough to understand each other a little bit better.
So what's winning out? Is it the maturity or is it the breaking out with your own rules? Because you guys in the ring tonight, you guys fought the Painkillers, and you guys definitely stood out. And were outstanding, I guess is the better way of putting it, not stood out. Because, yeah, you guys have your own attitude. You guys break out from the norm. It's very fun to watch.
I think it's just a comfort thing. I guess doing it as long as we have and like as much as we have, and like we have like insanely good chemistry. I don't know if it's because we have to drive together 8 hours and like put up with each other's bullshit,
Right.
or like we just find each other amusing and entertaining. But like I don't know, we have like we can go back and forth no problem.
Well, that seems like one of the lost arts now is traveling together and getting to know each other that well because everybody's either flying now or if you get work with one of the big companies, you're not spending that time together.
Yeah.
But you guys are kind of a throwback in that sense, it seems like.
We tried to be like an indie throwback, I guess, in a sense, because like we were talking about which big like indie stars would travel together, and we thought of like the Claudios and the Heroes and the Kevin Steen and El Generico, but it was like in pairs of twos, and they would just like travel the country, Cabana and CM Punk,
Right.
and like look where they are now. So we were like, well, why don't we become a tag team? And then like everything's just been falling into place, I guess.
The last year it's really caught steam.
Yeah, as I mentioned to you guys before the podcast, Christian Rosenberg, who was the commentator for IWL, you guys just did a match in LA, and that was against the Young Bucks, which is already being talked about, and they said for them that was just one of the dream matches that happened, and was that as big as it lived up to amongst all the hype for you guys?
I'm gonna say yes because
Okay.
we're not like bashful. We're both marks. We're both fans. Like
Right.
wrestlers are the biggest marks of all, and if anyone ever tries to say they're not, they're just lying to you. We're fans of the Young Bucks. We're fans of like a lot of wrestlers, so we were excited to wrestle them. And when we did, it's always good when you show up to wrestle guys and you have a pleasant experience.
Right.
And they were equally as excited to like get in and see if we were a good tag team because they want more tag teams
Yeah.
around indie wrestling too, right? So,
Right.
yeah, no, it was definitely a good experience.
So what would be next if you guys had that match, and then what would you like to do in the next year, 2014?
Well, in 2 weeks, I want to wrestle the American Wolves at AAW, but we don't know who we're wrestling.
Yeah,
yet,
we don't
so.
know wrestling yet.
Oh, okay.
That's what the
There's been some people
internet.
trying to get the steam rolling on that one.
Yeah.
But,
So we're hoping.
You stirring it up on Twitter?
I mean, yeah, we're trying.
Is there a popular hashtag you guys are throwing out there?
Just Monster Mafia. Hashtag Monster Mafia.
Okay.
but in the next year, what do we?
I just want to sign my name on something the same time he does. So
Okay.
like Whether it's with whatever, Ring of Honor, WWE, TNA, Dragon Gate, doesn't matter.
Somebody who can just start featuring you guys
Yeah, I mean,
on
like-
regular television and
I just see it like now we're becoming successful and we're like starting to actually like turn profit and like make name for ourselves and sell merchandise.
merchandise. Where can you possibly get this merchandise from?
ProWrestlingTees.com/Ethan Page. I know it says Ethan Page, but we have Monster Mafia shirts there. He's just the caveman, and
I don't know
I'm
these
like Bill
computers.
Nye, so
Yeah.
that's how that works.
All right, so t-shirts are available there, and
Yep.
you guys are actually, as you said, getting that fandom, getting the recognition.
Yeah,
Where's it bigger for you guys? Is it in Canada or is it the States or
the States.
is it the States?
Yeah,
I'll put it this way. I've been wrestling for 8 years. 7 years, pretty much all Canada. I was probably for the last 2 years, from year 5 to 7, I was probably like top 2 guy. Top 5 guy in Canada, top 2 guy in Ontario.
Okay.
Nobody knew who I was when I went to America.
Really?
There was
Okay.
Yeah.
barely, like maybe like a handful of people.
Okay.
In the
By
last
chance.
year, at AIW out of Cleveland, Ohio, and AAW in Chicago alone, like it's ridiculous how much of the indie wrestling like niche like you can get into when you start traveling around America.
Right. So that's where it's at, is America at this point.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have you guys gone across the pond in England or any of that to see if you guys...
I had like my hopes up to go to Germany, but that fell through. So no.
Okay. We have a lot of UK listeners, so
Yeah, get
UK
us there.
listeners.
Get us there. I forget. I saw some wrestling company.
I wrestled the champion for Fight Club Pro,
how was that?
MK McKinnon, at Evolve last year, and I was gonna see if I could go over to England, just because I have family there and I can go there, but you know it's all a grind to try to get the right contacts and it's all right timing.
Right?
But we're obviously not going to pay for our own plane tickets or anything like that to travel anywhere because we're kind of old school like that. And
Yeah,
cheap.
I don't know.
You
Like
want to cover your costs.
Yeah.
When we went to like Cali, like for us that was a big deal because we told ourselves that we would never fly ourselves out. We wanted to like get our name up to the value that someone was willing to like pay our ticket. So it was like we were walking to get onto the plane. We just like looked at each other and we were just like, yeah, this is actually happening. So it was like the most ridiculous thing ever. Wrestling one of the best tag teams in the world. We care more that someone like flew us to California. Never even seen like anything but a subway at California while we were there, but it was still cool to us.
That's great. People are investing in you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
As the fans should as well. So where can they invest in you guys? As you said, ProWrestlingTees.com/Ethan Page.
Yep.
And then where are you guys at social media? Facebook page, Twitter?
We both have Twitter. Josh's is,
At walking_weapon.
Okay.
and mine is at EthanPage89.
Guys, thank you so much. Monster Mafia here talking with us. I appreciate your time, guys.
No problem.
John Stossel. That's right. John Stossel was the guy I was trying to think of that I thought I might be if they decided to just slap me around.
Describe John Stossel to me.
He looks kind of like Geraldo Rivera, but just a guy with a mustache.
Just
Kind
a
of looks
dude.
a little bit of Phil Ranta, a little bit of Lanny Poffo, and a mustache.
To be honest, I don't know what Lanny Poffo looks like.
Oh my
I
God.
only know Lanny Poffo from our show.
You know, that's interesting you say that because this week we have Ask Macho returning, and that's his brother.
Oh God, don't tell him I don't know what his brother looks like.
I won't.
All right.
This makes me so uncomfortable. I think I just have to leave the room.
All right. Okay. Bring him on in, and we'll start. Ask Macho Man.
Yeah, that guy is weird looking out there working on that computer. You see that guy? It's
I
like
hope-
his neck is melting.
I hope you're talking about Mrs. Dad and not co-host of the podcast, Scott Narver.
No, I know Scott Narver. Yeah, he's a string
Breadstick,
bean.
breadstick,
yeah,
yeah.
he's like a breadstick. You could snap him right quick.
Hey, careful! That's my friend.
No, I like the guy, all right, but no, the guy working on the computer, he looks like the guy from RoboCop when he gets hit with the toxic waste, but they put a mustache on his face. Help me! Get away from me! Yeah, that's the scene from the movie. They're remaking that now.
Bullshit.
No, it's true.
No, I know it's true.
No, there's a trailer for it. It's got Michael Keaton. He's Batman. Yeah.
Macho Man, are you excited for the new RoboCop movie?
Yeah. Anytime they got a RoboCop movie, I'm all about it. Yeah, the number 3 had a samurai in it. Yeah, Japanese samurai who was a robot.
Do you wish that in
I bought one of those.
Do you wish that in RoboCop 3 that samurai had like actually been wearing like armor? The fact that he was just like a Japanese guy in like a 1990s suit, like, did that play for you?
No, because the same samurai robot that I have in my house, I make him wear clothes so that way people don't think I'm being mean to him, like stereotypical racist or something like that. Like, oh, he has to wear his Shogun armor or something like that. Like, no, it's casual Friday. Put on a Hawaiian t-shirt and some shorts and some flip flops.
All right, okay.
And get me a soda.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah. Well, he's my servant after all.
Oh, okay. Well, he's a deadliest warrior.
Yeah.
I have a question here from one of our listeners. Do you mind if I ask?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's have at it. Yeah.
Okay. Forgive me if I mispronounce it, but Kyle Penebianco, I believe it's pronounced.
Kyle Penebianco.
Kyle Penebianco.
Kyle Benebeck.
Kyle Benebianco.
Kyle, back it up. Yeah.
He asks, "Hi guys, could you ask
Yeah,
Macho
how are
Man?" I think he's doing good.
Oh, good. That's good to hear. Yeah.
Could you ask Macho Man Randy Savage if he will buy the new WWE 2K14 and if he likes to play with himself? Do you like to play with yourself, and do you like the WWE 2K14?
WWE 2K14, that's a lot of carrots. That's a lot of gold.
Yeah,
that's so much gold wrapped up right there. Yeah.
It's 2014.
That's a lot of gold. That's a lot of blood diamonds. Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio did do nothing to stop that. No.
Was he South African in that movie? South African?
I don't. Hey, I gotta go back and watch it. I'm confusing him with the character in The Beach, where he's just some guy with blonde hair and all the ladies like him. Yeah.
I remember when that guy's dying from the shark bite in The Beach. Do you remember that?
No, I don't. I remember when he was in video game form and he played a little video game. I'm like, what's going on here? I asked the Honky Tonk Man, hey, Honky, what's going on right here?
What did Honky Tonk Man say?
He was passed out. He didn't know.
Oh, so you're just talking to a passed out Honky Tonk?
Talking to a passed out Honky Tonk Man. How was I
Where
supposed to know
were you watching
things?
The Beach, like in a hotel on HBO or something?
Yeah, Best Western.
Oh, okay, good, yeah.
On demand. $14.99.
On
plus
demand.
tax.
Wow. All right.
And then we watched the porno version afterwards.
The Bitch.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's on the beach being a bitch. Yeah. Very, very enthralling. Yep.
Yeah, it's really about how society functions as a microcosm as well as in the greater scheme of things.
That's what I said to Honky Tonk Man, but he was asleep.
Yeah, what did Honky Tonk Man
Yeah,
say?
it was outrageous.
Kyle Penebianco.
Do I like playing with myself?
How do you
Do
feel
I
about
like playing with myself? Like masturbatory? Is that what we're talking about?
I think
here?
that's
we're
what
talking
it's
about
implying.
wrapping my fingers around my joystick? Very funny.
Well, what if you could play as yourself in the game?
Well, he doesn't like playing with himself? Well, who's you got to play with, huh?
Well, he says he's thanks from Australia, so I assume he's in some sort
Down
of
under. He throws his hand around and then boom, comes right back to him. Boomerang.
That's right.
Boomerang jack off. I know what he means. Playing in a video game. Yeah, playing with all the buttons. Yeah, I can't wait to put this game into my Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
I was about to ask you about that. I had a feeling the last time you probably really were having, some good time with the video game system was that WrestleMania on Nintendo?
Oh, yeah. Super WrestleMania. Every game on the Super Nintendo had Super in front.
And you did make an appearance in the Super Nintendo Royal Rumble game, right?
Yeah, Super Royal Rumble.
I remember that, yeah. That was a good rental.
Mario
I love that
Brothers.
one. I like that one a lot.
Super Double Dragon.
Super Metroid.
Castlevania.
Super Turrican.
Yeah.
Super F-Zero.
Super everything.
Super Star Wars. Super Empire Strikes Back.
Super Elizabeth.
Oh,
that's what I call her Super Elizabeth because I love my Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
Nice. And now,
Super Curtain Jerks.
Hey, I like that. I like that a lot. That would be a great logo, like a 16-bit start screen for Curtain Jerks.
Yeah, just take some money out of the petty cash. What do you mean?
I spent half to get that guy who was working on the computer into the lobby.
That guy?
Yeah.
He's a freak, that guy.
I know. Speaking of freak, if there was a Super Nintendo game of Curtain Jerks, it would be you press start and then it's like 7 to 8 minutes of two guys talking about going to college and what plays they were in, and then it gets to wrestling.
That seems very odd.
Yeah, it is. I wish you could fix that in options. But besides Slim Jims, Kyle would also like to know, are there other items you like to promote?
Oh, other items I like to promote. Let me think about that for a second.
Maybe your album, perhaps?
Yeah, it's done pretty well for itself. It ebbed and it flowed, and it is what it is. I know what I would like to promote on here. Yeah, everybody's gonna want a piece of this, right? Everybody's gonna want to get in on this. Everybody's gonna go, oh, how many dollars do I have? I'm gonna need more in order to get a part of this. Yeah. I'm telling you right now, get in on the bottom floor for this, all right?
All right.
Think about this. A video game system that has 32 bits. Take the amount of bits in a Super Nintendo, right? And
which
double
is 16, 32 bits. I think what you're describing
calling
is...
it the Super Macho Nintendo Entertainment System. Aha, yeah, prototypes are on the way. Yeah,
I have a
covered in tassels, got sunshades on them, so if you want to play during the daytime, it doesn't corrode the system.
I like it. I like that. I just feel like the PlayStation... the first PlayStation, the Nintendo 64.
That's a room where you jack off in.
The PlayStation?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the bathroom at a bus stop, right?
Yeah, that's where Laney's always hanging out in.
No, the PlayStation.
Yeah, the PlayStation.
All right,
He's
okay.
gonna go blind in there.
I don't think I'm gonna get I'm not gonna be able to talk about the console wars with you. I feel like I just don't have enough time.
No, why? Yeah, because there will be the Super Macho
Man.
Nintendo Entertainment System.
I would love a system with neon on it and tassels.
32 bits. Get in on it.
Alex Klimowicz.
Jesus, how many questions do you have?
This is the last one. Alex
All right.
Klimowicz asks, he wants to know what your thoughts are on an instrumental entrance theme, like yours and Daniel Bryan's, or lyrical ones, where it always sounds like the wrestler is singing their entrance theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like whenever there's lyrics on
you
a
like
wrestler.
mine? Ba, 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 bam, 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 Macho Man.
You sang your entrance theme?
Well, yeah, but they didn't use the lyrics, no, because otherwise everybody thinks they're graduating.
Okay. Pomp and circumstance.
Yeah, that's what I said. You guys are full of pomp and circumstance. Why don't you let me just sing my own damn lyrics, huh?
Yeah, okay. Have you ever heard the Mars Bringer of War?
Oh, yeah, Bruno Mars, the bringer of wars, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Bringing in keyboardists and all these other guys fighting.
Prokofiev, yeah.
Yeah, fighting like Thanos, yeah.
Oh, Thanos, yeah. Are you a big fan of the Avengers? Are you excited for Avengers too?
Yeah, of course. They're not as good as the mega powers. No,
No,
they don't make
certainly
worlds explode. Yeah, but the Avengers, yeah. You got Hawkeye, yeah. He doesn't miss a shot.
Hey.
Doesn't even look and just shoots it.
Speaking of superhero teams, the DC universe, it's a lot of human beings that interact with superpowered people.
Like Catwoman.
Yeah, how do you feel like Catwoman can hang with Batman? I mean, they're both they're just people that are incredibly skilled, but then you've got somebody like Superman and Aquaman and Green Lantern. Mm-hmm. It's not like Catwoman is part of any of those teams, but she can hang, right?
Oh, yeah, she can hang. Yeah, she's got a low-cut little kitty cat outfit, and then you want to go up and you want to, hey, I want to pet you. Please don't scratch me, all right? I see you there, and I want to give you a little pet, all right?
Is it low-cut?
Hold
Does
on,
she have
I'm
a
talking
summer
to her.
outfit?
Hold on. Hey, how are you? Yeah, it's the Macho Man, Randy Savage. I want to give you a little pet, maybe a little saucer of milk. Yeah. How about a
Well,
little
what
treat?
about this, Macho
Hey,
Man?
what
Suddenly
the
your
heck?
glasses
Back
are
off
gone.
of my game, all
Your
right?
glasses are gone. She stole your glasses.
Oh,
Where
my
are your
glasses. Oh.
Where's your crown? Your crown's
my
gone
crown.
too.
Oh, my scepter. Oh, everything's gone.
She fleeced you, bro.
She fleeced me, yet
fleeced
she
you
is a
big time.
cat, and she did a sheep-like maneuver on me. That is it. I'm gonna go get my stuff back, and I will be back with a vengeance.
I hope so.
And I will be back with a super macho Nintendo Entertainment System. Aha!
Last question.
Gee, what are
I'm
you
sorry,
doing?
last
I got
question.
my stuff stolen from me. You
I know.
keep asking me questions.
Are you going to be in Batman Arkham Origins? I think you should. I think that'd be awesome.
dropping an elbow on Batman, shattering that armor
Or
on
Mega
him?
Powers. You could team up with them.
Oh, with Hogan? No way.
No.
Hogan,
no,
you're
no,
dead
with
to
Batman.
me.
With Batman.
Oh, dress up Batman like Hulk Hogan. Yeah, maybe that'll work out a little bit better. Add a little hair on the back, not on the top, mind you. That guy's bald.
That guy is totally bald.
All right, I'm dropping an elbow on everybody, especially Catwoman. Aha!
Thank you for joining us, Macho Man.
Did you mention about you and the brother, Laney and you?
Oh shit! I completely forgot that I didn't.
Oh,
yeah.
good. No, I didn't want to be there. For
Yeah,
that,
I
'cause
didn't
thought
want
it'd
to.
be
Yeah,
super
like I'm gonna
uncomfortable.
tell Macho Man I don't know what his brother looks
That'd
like.
be stupid.
Yeah, he'd elbow drop me.
Oh man. All right. Well,
God, that guy, Macho Man has got the craziest eyes on the planet.
he does. That's why he wear those sunglasses.
Yeah, he just had the most intense eyes.
They're super intense.
Just get lost in those eyes.
Well, that wraps up another episode of Curtain Jerks. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on iTunes. Go to comedypodcastnetwork.com. Check out some other great podcasts on there as well. And, of course, you want to check out, if you're in the Toronto area and just in general, you got to check out Fight Brand. See what they got going on. And their zombie wrestling show coming up on Saturday, October 26th, 2013. Go back and if you have a time machine in the future, listen to this. Go back in time.
Yeah.
Sell that place out.
Yeah.
Double sell it out.
Double sell it out.
While wearing your future clothes.
Speaking of which, the future,
Uh-huh.
next episode, I
Whoa.
will be doing an exclusive critical analysis of Total Divas because it's a show I'm enthralled by.
Steve has recently watched the show and told me
I watched one episode and I was like, this is a really good show.
and I refuse to watch, so we're going to hear
I will
Steve
watch
try
for
to
both
sell
of
me
us.
on this show.
Yeah. So I will sell Scott on Total Divas. I will try to sell Scott something next week.
We'll see. So for Curtain Jerks, I'm Scott Narver.
I'm Steve Sears.
Enjoy your wrestling, kids.
You have received this transmission from the Comedy Podcast Network. For more shows, visit comedypodcastnetwork.com.